Hi, Karen. Happy April 18th and happy crazy marathon that we are about to embark on.
Katie, let's do this. We have this. You had a Laura bar earlier. I've got a bottle of water. I'm going to go get some wine. We are ready. We are ready.
We are so ready. We are so amped. Like this is the beginning of something so beautiful. Listeners, okay, here's what we're doing. All right. So for full transparency, I am going to be away for several weeks. And so we are recording 5, not 3, not 4, but 5 episodes today. And each episode is going to be 12 minutes long. So for the next 5 weeks, you can look forward to some really snippy, short, snappy episodes. And so yeah, that's where we are right now.
This is 1 of 5. We may or may not actually get to the theme that you read in the description box. We'll see. This is all new. Each one is 12 minutes and we're being pretty strict on that. So I literally just set a timer on my phone for 12 minutes. And so once it hits 12, if we're mid-sentence, we'll be like, oh my God. It's like our anniversary party was 61 minutes. It was just like, oh, bye everybody. Thanks for coming.
We're out. Toodaloo. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So for those of you who don't know me, the reason why I'm going to be gone for so long is because I'm going to Portugal for 3 weeks and I'm so excited. And I know for those of you who've been listening a long time, I've been trying to manifest this trip for a while. And so I'm very, very excited about it. And yet I will miss you, Karen, for real. Like I really will.
Oh my God, Katie, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't either.
We were just talking. You are my creative muse. You are my therapy addendum. You are like part of my weekly life. Like, we just had a break. So yeah,
I know. I mean, I'm so excited for the week of May, I guess 16th when we can get back together. But for today, I am very excited about our first mini pod, part 1 of 5 marathon session, and the topic of spring fever. This is awesome. And I love that you found a WebMD article about this. Brilliant.
Well, I can't take credit for this. So spring fever popped into my head because I was, of course, trying to think of topics like, what are we going to do in 12 minutes across the next 5 episodes? And I Googled spring fever, and apparently it used to be an actual ailment. Like spring fever was like legit a thing. I didn't go down that rabbit hole. I know, like maybe in the Middle Ages. The rabbit hole I did go down, of course, was this WebMD article about body changes during the spring, which is so fascinating to me.
So interesting. I mean, the article, I will link it in the description of the pod so everybody can read it as well, but it's so interesting. I mean, it's basically like, I mean, spring fever, when I think about that, is like, yay, spring fever, like get out your shorts and like, like take out your Birkenstocks in my case, or whatever sandals you prefer. But like this is talking about how like spring actually can change your hormones. It's fascinating.
Yes. And the way that you process light, and that your seasonal affective disorder can lift, and that if you have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, you may be manic in the spring. All of these things. And I mean, we don't have to get into too much detail about the sex hormone changes, but that is also fascinating. Like the way that fertility is affected by the spring. Had no idea.
Fascinating. I love the first quote, or one of the first quotes in the beginning of the article by a doctor who's from the University of Texas, Houston School of Public Health. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it? Go ahead.
No, you.
Okay. These are the rhythms of life, and we take them for granted. People accept the fact that our bodies are organized in space, that our toes are at the end of our feet, that the hairs on our head stand up, but we give little thought to the fact that our bodies are structured in time. Dude, mic drop.
It sounds like magical, right? Like it sounds like one of those things that makes you realize how amazing the human body is and how little we know about nature. And yeah, I just approached this with this like sense of wonder, like, oh, I am learning some new shit. That's super cool.
Yes, I love sense of wonder. That's so true. It's like, I mean, there's a whole section about how our hormones change. And it says during the long darkness of winter months, we naturally produce more melatonin in our body. And, for people who are prone to seasonal affective disorder, that can trigger depression. But in the spring, that melatonin production eases up. And so most of the time for people who experience SAD, they can also, like, their depression can go away. I mean, that's fascinating. I definitely feel that lift, though, I will say, for sure. I mean, no question.
I was going to say, do you feel like your body changes during the spring?
I think for sure. I think I just get more excited about the idea that it's going to be nice out, because I'm not even a warm weather person. I'm a hot weather person. Like, I'm one of those weird freaks that loves like 95-degree days with like 96% humidity. I'm just, yeah, I know.
I do love hot weather. I feel like we're both summer babies. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I definitely love hot weather. As I've gotten older and started having, we don't call them hot flashes, power surges, me and the hot weather don't get along as well as we used to, but I definitely feel my mood lift. And this article says that people sleep less when the days are longer, but I'm experiencing the opposite right now.
Are you?
Oh yeah,
really?
No, I'm sleeping super late.
Really? And like, are you sleeping deeper, like better, do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's wonderful. I also love power surges as a reframe for hot flashes. Fuck those hot flashes. Power surges really bring you back so much like embodiment and energy and like agency into like versus something happening to you, it sounds like.
Yes, it's also very vivid. I mean, hot flash is also a very vivid, like that is the perfect name for what happens, but all power surges too. Just this feeling like the temperature, like I think I've described it before. Like, that the flush you get when you're embarrassed about something,
totally,
when you're nervous about something, or you realize like, oh shit, did I leave the burner on? Like that feeling in your body.
Yeah.
But it's like, it doesn't stop. And it just like somebody just keeps turning that up.
Whoa. That's what happens.
Yeah.
And then does it stop? I mean, after like an hour, or it just depends?
It's never very long, but it's just long enough to make you super uncomfortable. It has like been long enough for me that like I break out into a sweat sometimes, or it's just so uncomfortable. It never lasts like a really long time, but I for a while was just getting them all the time.
I wonder if there's something to be said for like people who are in the menopausal stage of life, if seasonality affects them as much, or if there's like, that would be like version 2 of this article. That would be like a deeper dive, but it would be really interesting. I mean, I think it's fascinating. I think that, I mean, one part I didn't agree with on this is that like, it says body image springs to our consciousness during this time of year in the spring. We're shaking that craving for carbohydrates that makes us put on weight. And it's like, no, I'm not like, I don't sign up for that. Like, I definitely still want bagels. And so like, but I definitely do though think that I'm just more active. And so like, I think that's probably part of it for me. And it's like the sunlight makes me want to go out and do more things versus just like being in a snowy day and just eating pasta.
Ooh.
Today's episode of Course I'm Not Okay, the podcast, is brought to you by Take 5, our new sponsorship series.
Over the next 5 episodes, Katie and I will be asking each other rapid fire questions and answering them real fast because we only have 12 minutes in these episodes and they go really quickly. So for this episode, the Take 5 question is, Katie, what was your first concert? Go.
My first concert was, oh my gosh, it was the Beach Boys in, which makes me sound like I'm 100, but it was the Beach Boys at the Fox Theater in Detroit when I was really young, and the mezzanine was moving. And it was like, I think my parents were a little nervous about it, but it was really cool. And I probably was 6, maybe. My second concert was way cooler. It was New Kids on the Block, but I will say my first was the Beach Boys. Karen, what was your first concert?
My first concert, I believe, was Stephanie Mills, who starred as Dorothy on Broadway in The Wiz.
Ooh.
I think we won tickets to see Stephanie Mills. And then my second concert was more age appropriate, I would say. It was Tiffany. Mm-hmm. Yes, who at the time had gained fame for singing in malls, and I actually saw her at an arena.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Epic. That is epic. Did you love it?
Oh my gosh, of course. It was like a Z95 radio station concert.
Yes.
So much fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you, First Concerts, for sponsoring this episode.
I hear that. I also am thinking about like markers of spring in my current life. You know, I moved. I guess it's been almost a year and a half since I moved, and I'm just thinking like one of the markers for spring for me is Ginger Buddha redoing her yard.
Oh yes.
Right. She lives in this like gorgeous 3-flat, and they have this huge yard, and her landlord like had it resodded, and it's like really green and lush, and like she plants this beautiful garden every year, like just gorgeous, and like grows vegetables. Last year she grew this kind of obscenely large pumpkin.
I respect that.
Troublingly large pumpkin. Like
no, could have won a contest.
Weird.
Large pumpkin.
Like wow. That thing's, I mean, it was just like, yes, could have won a contest. Just like, wait, is that real? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's amazing. Good for her. I've never grown a vegetable. Like, I need to try that. That's amazing. But like that reminds you of spring.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. She's already started this process, and it's just like, oh, it's spring. Ow. And Maya's stabbing me.
Yeah, I think that also is part of the reason why, like, I'm with you and like wanting to go to like plant nurseries and buy new plants and like buy, outdoor plants and stuff like that. And like I went and got a bunch of mulch this past weekend at Home Depot, and I'm like all excited about putting out my mulch, which I've never used mulch and like or used it that many times in the same sentence. But the thing is that like, okay, this week, Karen, like it snowed 5 inches at my house.
Wait, what?
I know.
No way.
Right. So my hormones are jacked. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like I still want carbs, but I also am sleeping a ton. Last night I slept for 10 hours, which I mean, okay, it's weed gummies, but whatever, still 10 hours. And the thing is though, is like, I'm all over the place because I'm supposed to be going to plant nurseries and I'm like shoveling snow in my driveway, and I'm like not even that mad about it because like there's a drought in Oregon, so like it's actually a really good thing. So yay, but also weird,
Yeah, that's freaky.
Yeah, does spring fever translate to global warming? I don't know. Deep thoughts. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and there is a Prince song and a terrible Prince movie. Come fight me if you want to disagree. This is a terrible movie called Under the Cherry Moon. It was like the movie that Prince made after Purple Rain.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And there's a song in it called Sometimes It Snows in April. And now I feel like, no, it all the time snows in April.
Like, oh my gosh. Okay, first off, I never knew that Prince made movies. And second of all, I've never heard Sometimes It Snows in April. So I'm definitely linking that. And like, that's amazing. I want to listen to that song.
Have you not seen Purple Rain?
No. Wait, is Purple Rain also a movie?
Oh my God, Katie,
my brain is
blowing me. Oh my God. Dr. Tanya is losing her mind right now. She's losing her mind right now.
Oh God. I mean, I'm not a Prince, like, aficionado, but maybe I need to be because I'm missing out.
Oh my God. I mean, I grew up listening to Prince, and when Prince died, it was like one of those moments where it's like, I remember exactly what I was doing.
Really? What were you doing?
I was a consultant on a project in Atlanta.
Oh.
And it was like, there were a bunch of us on this project, and it was like me and another Black woman and like people of different races, but like me and this other Black woman. And when we found out, we were both like, we need to go home.
Wow.
We were like, no, I can't. I'm not working. We like, neither of us worked the entire rest of the day. It was just like, no, Prince died. Like, I can't. This needs to be a national day of mourning.
For sure.
Oh my God.
My gosh. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Well, I love Prince. So I can't believe you haven't seen Purple Rain. We should watch it sometime because I would love to watch it as an adult, because Purple Rain came out in like 86, maybe 85, 80, maybe even 84, 85. I don't know. It's good. It's a product of its time. I will say that.
That's still a shining review. I mean, and then your love for Prince also makes me want to watch it. So I need to. I really, really do.
Oh my gosh, it's so yeah. And the soundtrack, the Purple Rain soundtrack obviously is amazing.
Oh, of course. I mean, I didn't know that was a soundtrack. Okay, this is all making more sense. Did you ever get to see him live?
Yes. A couple times. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Unreal.
Jumped off of his piano in stilettos into the Splits when I saw him.
What?
Oh, I really was like,
goodness.
And it was the kind of thing where like the whole audience was, of course, this auditorium, everybody just was like screamed like, whoa, it was incredible.
Wow.
Also an incredible show. And he had like amazing stamina. He would play 3-hour shows and then like sneak off to some tiny club in the cities and then play an after show for like 2 more or 3 more hours.
Oh my gosh.
That I never went to any of those, but
wow.
Arena shows I did go to.
That's incredible. I'm so glad you got to see him. That's amazing.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we've hit 12 minutes.
Oh,
this is so weird.
Was that 12 minutes?
Actually, so I'm glad you didn't hear it, but yes, the timer went off about a minute ago. And I'm like, oh God, how am I going to wrap this up? Like, I want to hear about Prince. So, okay. So here we are. Not at all awkward, but
another seamless segue to episode 205.
Seamless. Yes. We will see you all next week. Please stick with us because, we're perfecting this marathon session. And
yes.
Yeah, there's definitely something to come for next week's 12-minute or 12 minutes, ... maybe 15 minutes, who knows? But yeah, thanks for listening and playing. We'll see you next week.